Life isn't just to be lived, it's to be felt. And those who live long don't just live, they live with purpose. This is the secret of Ikigai, the Japanese life formula that reveals the truth about happiness, peace, and longevity. Today, we're about to open that door, where work becomes worship and life becomes a journey, a purpose. Welcome to Ikigai, the secret formula for a happy and long life.
Most people are not living. They're merely surviving, breathing, eating, sleeping, but not living. You wake up, you go to work, you come home, you scroll, you sleep, and then you repeat. That's not life. That's maintenance. That's survival on autopilot. You're not here just to exist. You're here to live. That's the first truth of Ikigai, the purpose that gives life direction. Ikigai begins when you stop running from yourself. It begins when you wake up and realize, I am not a machine. I am a creator. I am a thinker. I am alive. In Japan, there are people who live past 100, not because of luck, but because of meaning. They don't count their days, they fill them. They don't talk about purpose, they live it. A gardener who still tends his plants at 95. A craftsman who polishes his tools like sacred instruments. A grandmother who wakes every morning to cook for her family, smiling with gratitude. They have what most people lost, a reason. A reason to get up, a reason to give, a reason to breathe with intention. That's Ikigai. That's life. You have a choice. You can keep drifting, doing what everyone else does, complaining, wishing, waiting. Or you can wake up. You can decide today that survival is no longer enough. Because the truth is, most people die at 25, but are buried at 75. They stop dreaming. They stop trying. They stop feeling alive. Don't be one of them. Don't exist. Live. Don't wait. Begin. Don't drift. Decide. You don't need anyone's permission to start living differently. You don't need approval to step into your own life. No one's going to come and hand you purpose. You create it. You define it. You earn it through action. Ikigai isn't a theory. It's a decision. It's the decision to live intentionally. Ask yourself, what makes me feel alive? When do I lose track of time? What do I do that makes me forget to check my phone? That's where your Ikigai hides. Not in the noise, in the flow. In the small moments where your heart is present, your mind is quiet, and your actions have meaning. Maybe it's writing. Maybe it's building. Maybe it's teaching. Maybe it's helping. Whatever it is, that's not a hobby. That's a path. That's where life starts to speak back to you. But here's the catch. Living with Ikigai isn't easy. It demands honesty. You have to look in the mirror and admit you've been asleep. You've been surviving. Working jobs you hate. Pretending you're fine. Doing what the world expects instead of what your soul demands. And that's okay, because awareness is the first step to awakening. You can't fix what you refuse to face, and you can't live until you stop pretending to. So, stop lying to yourself. Stop saying, I'm okay, when you're not. Stop saying someday when you mean never. Ikigai starts when you choose to care again, when you decide that your time on this earth matters. Your life is your responsibility. Your happiness is your duty. Your purpose is your choice. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to hand you a perfect plan. The secret is you already have everything you need. That's the key. The mind that wants to live, that's enough. The body that can move, that's enough. The breath that flows through you, that's enough. What you do with that breath, that day, that moment, that's your power. If you wake up every day only to survive, you are slowly dying. If you wake up every day with a purpose, you are truly alive. Life doesn't reward the distracted. It rewards the deliberate. It rewards those who choose to live with clarity even when it's hard. So ask your question. Don't ask, what's the meaning of life? Ask, what gives my life meaning? Then build your days around that answer. Structure your time around what energizes you. Give yourself permission to focus on what makes you feel alive. You don't have to chase happiness. You have to build it, brick by brick, habit by habit, choice by choice. Living with purpose doesn't mean being busy. It means being aligned. It means doing less of what drains you and more of what strengthens you. It means being proud of how you spend your hours, because your hours are your life. That's Ikigai. That's the quiet, burning flame in every person who refuses to live numb. Look around. The world is full of noise, but purpose is silent. It doesn't scream. It doesn't beg. It waits for you to listen. So listen. Listen to that whisper inside, the one that says, there's more for you. Because there is. There's more depth, more meaning, more beauty, if you dare to stop existing and start living. You have a choice, to stay comfortable or to start alive, to keep breathing or to start becoming. Don't drift through another year. Don't postpone your life for the perfect time. It will never come. Life is now. Purpose is now. Ikigai is now. So wake up. Look around. Ask yourself, am I living or just surviving? And if the answer hurts, good. That's where the change begins. Because discomfort is the doorway. Awareness is the trigger. Action is the cure. Today, take one step, one small action that aligns you with life again. Write something, build something, help someone, smile genuinely. Do it not for reward, but for meaning. Don't live for the weekend. Don't live for approval. Live for alignment. Live for purpose. Live for you. Remember, survival keeps you alive. Purpose makes you human. That's the heart of Ikigai. That's where happiness begins. You've taken the first step. You've chosen to wake up. You've decided to stop existing and start living. Now, let's go deeper. You've found awareness, but awareness is not enough. You need a reason, a powerful why that pulls you out of bed every morning. Because a life without reason has no rhythm. And a life without rhythm has no peace. You've mastered your awakening. Now let's talk about the next step, the reason behind your mornings.
Every morning, you wake up. But why? For most people, the answer is empty. They wake up because they have to, because the alarm says so, because bills are due, because someone else expects it. That's not living, that's obligation. That's survival disguised as purpose. Ikigai is about changing that. It's about reclaiming your mornings. It's about waking up for something. You need a reason that moves you before your feet even hit the ground, a reason that makes you want to face the day. That reason is your ikigai. It's not a secret, it's not a mystery, it's a map, and that map has 4 directions: what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. Where those 4 lines cross, that's your center, that's your purpose, that's your reason. But here's the truth: most people never find it because they never look honestly. They chase what others tell them to want. They confuse comfort with happiness. They mistake money for meaning. And that's why they wake up tired. That's why they drag themselves through days that feel like repetitions of nothing. You have a choice. You can keep doing what you're told, or you can stop, reflect, and choose your own direction. That's the key. Let's break it down. You love something. Maybe art, maybe teaching, maybe building, maybe helping. You're good at something. Maybe speaking, maybe organizing, maybe solving problems. The world needs something: peace, clarity, guidance, healing, solutions. And you can be paid for something, a way to contribute and sustain yourself. Ikigai isn't about perfection, it's about alignment. When what you do and who you are finally align, energy replaces exhaustion. You stop forcing yourself out of bed. You want to rise because your mornings now have meaning. Ask yourself a question and be brutally honest. If I had no fear, what would I do every day? Write it down. Don't think, just answer. That's the voice of your ikigai. That's your truth before the world tells you it's impossible. And maybe you'll say, but I can't make money doing that. Fine. Then find a way to bring that energy into your current life, even 1 hour a day. Ikigai doesn't demand a career change. It demands an inner change. You don't need to quit your job tomorrow. You just need to wake up differently. You need to infuse purpose into what you already do. If you teach, teach with love. If you build, build with pride. If you serve, serve with care. It's not about the task, it's about the spirit behind the task. That's Ikigai in motion. That's living with reason. Because when you do things with presence, even small actions become sacred. A cup of tea shared with awareness becomes meaning. A word of kindness becomes legacy. You don't need their permission. You don't need society's validation to follow what makes your soul come alive. You only need courage. Courage to say, this is what I want. Courage to say, I choose purpose over pressure. Courage to admit that your time is yours. That's the beginning of transformation. That's the line between existing and living with direction. But remember, purpose isn't found in a day. It's built through attention. Start observing yourself. What lights you up? What drains you? What makes hours feel like minutes, and what makes minutes feel like hours? Your body already knows. Your energy doesn't lie. Follow the pull, not the pressure. Follow what gives, not what takes. That's your internal compass. That's Ikigai pointing you home. In Okinawa, Japan, one of the world's longest-living communities, people don't retire. They don't wait for weekends. They don't measure time by work shifts. They measure time by purpose. A fisherman keeps fishing because it's his joy. A gardener keeps planting because it's his peace. An old woman keeps weaving because it keeps her connected to beauty. They don't ask, when can I stop? They ask, what can I give today? And that's the difference. They wake with reason. They sleep with peace. They live with direction. You have to stop looking at life as a burden and start seeing it as a mission. A mission to express your talent. A mission to serve with what you have.
a mission to build something meaningful even if no one claps for you. You're not here to impress, you're here to impact. Don't waste your mornings on autopilot. Don't waste your energy chasing applause. Wake up for something that fills you, not something that drains you. That's how you build endurance. That's how you build joy. Ikigai is the fuel of discipline, because when you love what you do, effort becomes natural. It's not about motivation, it's about devotion. It's not about success, it's about significance. It's not about achievement, it's about alignment. Every morning, life gives you another chance, a chance to redirect your energy, a chance to reconnect with what matters. But most people throw it away. They hit snooze on the alarm and on their potential. Don't be one of them. Don't snooze on your own life. Don't delay your meaning another day. Wake up intentionally. Before you check your phone, check your focus. Before you start your day, set your direction. Say it out loud. Today, I will live with reason. Today, I will give more than I take. Today, I will act with purpose. Do that for 30 days and watch your life realign itself, because purpose builds momentum, and momentum builds transformation. You have a choice. You can keep waking up to alarms, or you can wake up to life. You can keep dragging yourself through meaningless motion, or you can rise with clarity. The difference between existing and thriving is one simple thing: reason. Find your reason, guard it, nurture it, and when you find it, build your days around it like it's sacred, because it is. That's Ikigai, that's the formula. Wake with reason, sleep with peace, live with direction. You've found the reason to rise, the why behind your mornings. But purpose alone isn't enough. To live it, you must channel all your energy into one focused act, the thing you can do with complete presence and heart. Because meaning without action is just theory, and Ikigai lives in the doing. You found your reason. Now, let's talk about your rhythm, the art of focused creation.
You're doing too much and feeling too little. That's the problem. Your attention is scattered. Your energy is divided. Your heart is nowhere. You try to chase everything and end up mastering nothing. You try to please everyone and end up losing yourself. Ikigai isn't about doing more. It's about doing one thing with heart. That's the key. When you do something with heart, time disappears. Doubt disappears. Fear disappears. There's only you and the work. You and the moment. That's what the Japanese call flow. It's the state where you stop overthinking and start being. It's when the mind and body align, when effort becomes art. That's the secret of Ikigai. Not busyness, not multitasking. Flow. Look at the artisans of Okinawa. They don't rush, they don't chase. They create. One man spends an entire day carving a single wooden spoon. Another spends weeks shaping one teacup. Not for money, not for fame, but for love of creation. That's why their work feels alive, because they were alive while doing it. They didn't just use their hands, they used their soul. And that's the difference. Work without heart drains you. Work with heart fulfills you. Do it with heart. Do it with focus. Do it with soul. But here's the truth. Most people never feel this kind of focus because they live in distraction. They want shortcuts. They want speed. They confuse movement with progress. You scroll while eating. You text while walking. You work while thinking about 10 other things. And then you wonder why you feel empty. You wonder why nothing feels satisfying. It's because you've forgotten how to be present. Ikigai demands presence. It demands immersion. It demands that you give your full self to what's in front of you, not half, not distracted, not diluted. You have a choice. You can live shallow, or you can live deep. That's the key. The modern world worships multitasking, but multitasking destroys mastery. It divides your energy. It dulls your soul. Focus is the new luxury. Concentration is the new power. Doing one thing, fully, is the new rebellion. Because when you do one thing with absolute presence, you find peace. You find purpose. You find yourself. Stop chasing 100 half-built bridges. Build one that reaches the other side. Stop trying to please 10 different people. Be authentic to one truth, your own. Stop splitting your attention across noise. Silence the world and give your energy to what matters. When you do one thing with heart, you bring meaning into it, no matter what it is. Wash the dishes like a meditation. Write your notes like a ritual. Speak to someone like they're the only person in the room. That's not small. That's sacred. The small things you do with depth become the building blocks of a meaningful life. That's the secret of the long-lived. They don't escape their days. They enter them. The average person spends their life running from boredom, running from silence, running from themselves. But the wise, they stay. They stay in the task until it becomes music. They stay in the process until it becomes peace. That's what Ikigai looks like in motion, a deep calm in doing one thing with your whole being. Do it with heart. Do it with focus. Do it with soul. You might say, "But I don't love my job." That's fine. You don't have to. You just have to love how you do it. It's not about the task. It's about the discipline. It's not about the job. It's about the attitude. When you give something your full attention, you elevate it, and it elevates you back. That's the power of heart-driven work. You can scrub floors or build companies. Both can become Ikigai if you do them with intention. Because purpose doesn't live in the size of the action. It lives in the depth of your attention. Stop searching for motivation. Start building devotion. Motivation fades when things get hard. Devotion grows when things get hard. Motivation depends on feelings. Devotion depends on commitment. That's the key. That's how you live with consistency instead of chaos. When you're devoted to the process, results take care of themselves. You don't have to chase fulfillment. It comes to you. Think about this. When was the last time you gave something 100%? Not 70, not 90, but all of you. When was the last time you were so focused that time vanished? That's the feeling you're missing. That's the state you need to build. And the only way to reach it is through discipline. The discipline of focus. The discipline of patience. The discipline of presence. So here's what you must do. Pick one thing, a task, a goal, a craft, and commit to it. Set a sacred time each day for it. No distractions, no interruptions. Do it with full presence. Don't think about what's next. Be here, now. Do this for 30 days. Watch how your peace grows. Watch how your anxiety falls. Watch how life starts to flow again. Because flow is freedom. Flow is ikigai in motion. Flow is living with heart. You have a choice to do everything half-heartedly or to do one thing with your full soul. The first path leads to burnout. The second leads to bliss. And that's not poetry. That's neuroscience. When you enter flow, your brain releases dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins. Stress falls. Creativity rises. You feel alive. That's what happens when you give yourself entirely to one thing. Do it with heart. Do it with focus. Do it with soul. You don't need the perfect job. You don't need the perfect plan. You need perfect presence. You need to show up fully, completely, relentlessly for what's in front of you. Because when you do, even ordinary work becomes extraordinary. Even routine becomes ritual. Even time itself slows down. That's the magic of Ikigai. It transforms what you do by transforming how you do it. So stop scattering your strength. Pull it together, point it in one direction, and give it your all. That's how you build excellence. That's how you build peace. That's how you build a life that matters. Do it with heart. Do it with focus. Do it with soul. You've learned the power of single-hearted focus, of pouring yourself into one act until it becomes meaning. Now you must learn to keep moving, to never retire from purpose, to never stop living with that same fire. Because once you stop moving, the spirit begins to fade. Ikigai is not just about passion. It's about endurance. You've learned to work with heart. Now, let's learn how to stay alive with purpose.
There's a dangerous myth in modern life. The idea that one day you'll arrive, that you'll finally earn enough, achieve enough, and then stop. Stop working, stop striving, stop pushing. You call it retirement, but in truth, that's the beginning of the end. Because the moment you stop moving, you start dying. The moment you stop creating, your spirit begins to rust. The body may grow old, but the soul only ages when it's idle. And that's the key. Purpose keeps you young. In Okinawa, Japan, home to some of the world's longest-living people, they have no word for retirement. You heard that right. No word for it. Because they never retire from life. They stay active, they stay useful, they stay connected to something larger than themselves. One man in his late 90s still tends his garden every morning before sunrise. He grows vegetables for his neighbors. He's not doing it for money, he's doing it for meaning. That's his ikigai, his reason to wake up every morning. He's not working for survival anymore, he's working for life itself. You see, most people chase escape. They dream of a day when they won't have to do anything. But they forget doing nothing kills the soul faster than doing too much. That's why so many people feel lost after they retire, because they didn't plan for life after purpose. Let me say this clearly. You don't retire from your purpose. You evolve it. You shift gears. You redirect your energy, but you never stop giving it. Your body and mind are designed for movement. Stagnation is poison. When you sit too long, your muscles weaken. When you stop learning, your brain dulls. When you stop caring, your heart closes. That's not peace. That's slow death.
In Okinawa, they move naturally, not by forcing workouts or chasing fitness trends, but by living actively. They walk, they garden, they cook, they dance. They live in motion, because motion is medicine, and purpose is the soul's heartbeat. So ask yourself, have you retired without realizing it? Maybe you've stopped growing. Maybe you've stopped dreaming. Maybe you're living the same week 50 times and calling it a life. You have a choice. You can keep waiting for the perfect time to restart, or you can wake up today and move, physically, mentally, spiritually. That's the key. Stay active, stay alive, keep moving, keep meaning. Let's be clear, staying active doesn't mean staying busy. Busyness is motion without direction. Purpose is motion with meaning. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters. The Okinawan woman who wakes at dawn to prepare food for her grandchildren isn't busy. She's connected. Every act is infused with care. Every motion carries purpose. And that purpose is what sustains her. You don't need to lift weights to stay strong. You need to lift meaning. You don't need to run marathons to feel alive. You need to run towards contribution. That's how you outlive your age. Because life doesn't stop when you grow old. You grow old when you stop living. Look around you. The world is filled with people who have retired from effort. Not from jobs, but from life itself. They stop learning, they stop giving, they stop dreaming, and then they wonder why every day feels heavy, slow, meaningless. That's the price of quitting your own purpose. You see, the modern world sells comfort as the goal, but comfort, when overindulged, becomes confinement. You can't grow in constant ease. You can't evolve in constant rest. Rest has a purpose, but that purpose is to recover for action, not to escape it. You must understand, the body is wired for use. The mind is wired for challenge. The heart is wired for connection. When you deny those needs, life becomes shallow. So stop wishing for a life of rest. Start building a life of rhythm. Work, move, contribute, then rest and rise again. That's how you stay alive, forever active in your purpose. Let's get practical. How do you do this? How do you live without ever retiring from meaning? Step 1. Find one thing to keep improving at. A skill, a craft, a discipline. Something that keeps you humble and growing, because growth keeps the fire alive. Never let your hands or your mind be empty for too long. Step 2. Serve someone else. Purpose is rarely found in isolation. It's found in contribution. Help your family, your neighbor, your community. Even a small act, a shared meal, a planted flower, reconnects you to the living cycle of purpose. Step 3. Keep learning. Every day, challenge your mind. Read, reflect, relearn. Because the day you stop learning is the day you start declining. Stay curious. Curiosity is oxygen for the spirit. Step 4. Move your body daily. Not for aesthetics, for longevity. The Japanese centenarians don't train like athletes. They simply move with intention. They don't sit still for hours. They live their day in motion. A walk, a stretch, a dance, a task. Do that and you'll feel it. That subtle hum of vitality that comes from being alive in motion. You don't need to run faster. You just need to stop standing still. You don't need to prove anything. You just need to keep contributing. You don't need to chase youth. You just need to feed purpose. Because youth fades, but meaning does not. That's why those Okinawan elders laugh easily, move freely, and smile deeply. They never stopped living. Their hands still work, their hearts still serve, their eyes still dream. That's not luck. That's discipline. The discipline of staying active, in body, in mind, in purpose. So let me ask you, what are you doing with your days? Are you waiting to retire into peace? Or are you living peace through purpose? Every day you stay active in what matters. You add years not just to your life, but life to your years. Don't wait until it's too late to realize that stillness without meaning is emptiness. Get up, move, create, serve, learn. Stay active, stay alive, keep moving, keep meaning. Because Ikigai doesn't retire, it evolves. You've learned to keep your spirit in motion. Now let's go deeper. You've mastered the rhythm of purpose. Now it's time to learn how to protect it.
The truth is simple. Your life is too loud, too cluttered, too full of things, opinions, and obligations that don't matter. And that's why you're tired. Not because you're weak, but because you're overloaded. You don't need more. You need less. Less noise, more clarity. Less rush, more rhythm. Less stuff, more soul. That's the key. Ikigai, the reason for a long, happy life, is not hidden in adding more. It's revealed in removing what doesn't belong. Look at the Okinawans. They live longer not because of miracle medicine, but because of balance. Their homes are simple. Their meals are light. Their pace is calm. They live slow enough to feel life happening. They follow a principle called hara hachibu. Eat until you're 80% full. Not stuffed, not starved, just enough. That's wisdom, because life is not about constant consumption. It's about contentment. You eat less, you live more. You own less, you feel free. You think less about what's missing, and you begin to notice what's already there. That's how you simplify everything. Most people live like hoarders, not just of things, but of thoughts. Their minds are packed with regrets, comparisons, and noise. They never stop to ask, what do I really need? What truly serves my peace? They fill their schedules until there's no space left to breathe. They chase goals that aren't theirs. They buy things to impress people who aren't watching. And then they wonder why happiness feels far away. You have a choice. You can keep feeding chaos, or you can start starving it. Simplicity isn't weakness. It's discipline. It takes strength to say enough. It takes courage to cut the excess. It takes clarity to stop chasing what doesn't fulfill you. You don't need their permission to slow down. You don't need approval to live differently. You just need the discipline to choose less. Let's break this down. Simplicity isn't just a concept. It's a practice. And like all disciplines, it's built one small decision at a time. 1. Simplify your food. Stop eating like you're filling a void. Eat to fuel, not to escape. The Okinawans eat vegetables, rice, tofu, tea, clean, light, natural food. They stop before they're full, because they understand the goal is energy, not indulgence. They eat to live, not live to eat. Try it. Eat till you're satisfied, not stuffed. You'll notice your body thank you. You'll feel lighter, clearer, calmer. That's not a diet. That's discipline. 2. Simplify your space. Your environment is a mirror of your mind. If your surroundings are chaotic,
your thoughts will be too. Walk into your room. Look at every object and ask, does this add peace or noise? If it adds noise, remove it. If it adds peace, keep it. Decluttering is not about aesthetics. It's about energy. Every useless item you hold on to takes a piece of your focus. It weighs you down. It reminds you of things undone, decisions delayed, intentions forgotten. Clear it out. Make space, physically and mentally, because you can't move freely when you're carrying everything at once. Less stuff, more soul. That's the way to live light. 3. Simplify your schedule. You don't need to say yes to everything. Busyness is not success, it's distraction in disguise. The goal isn't to fill every minute. The goal is to fill your minutes with meaning. That's the key. Learn to say no. No to empty conversations. No to pointless scrolling. No to tasks that drain you but don't move you forward. Every time you say no to nonsense, you say yes to life. You make room for what matters: creation, connection, calm. You have a choice. You can be everywhere for everyone or present for yourself. You can chase everything or cherish something. That's how you simplify. 4. Simplify your thoughts. Your mind doesn't need more input. It needs more silence. You don't need to consume endless advice or opinions. You need to listen inward. When you quiet the noise, wisdom rises. When you stop reacting, clarity speaks. It's not about overthinking. It's about understanding. Try this. Each morning, take 5 minutes and do nothing. No phone, no conversation, just breathe. Notice your thoughts, then let them pass. You'll find that peace doesn't need to be created. It's already there, beneath the clutter. That's simplicity. That's power. When your life becomes simple, it becomes sharp. Every action has weight. Every word has meaning. Every moment has presence. Simplicity doesn't make you less. It makes you focused. Because when you stop chasing 10 things, you can finally master one. And mastery, not motion, creates fulfillment. It's not about being busy. It's about being aligned. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing the right thing. That's the discipline most people avoid because it requires honesty. You have to admit what's not working. You have to release what's no longer serving you. You have to detach from the noise. But once you do, you breathe again. You feel space. You feel peace. That's what simplicity gives you. Freedom. Not just from clutter, but from confusion. Now, listen closely. Simplicity is not a style. It's a spiritual weapon. In a world that constantly pulls your attention in 1,000 directions, the ability to focus on what truly matters is rare and powerful. Simplicity protects your energy. It protects your clarity. It protects your peace. The fewer moving parts, the less that breaks. The fewer distractions, the more progress you make. The fewer desires, the more joy you feel. You don't need to live big. You need to live pure. You don't need everything. You need meaning. That's the key. Less noise, more clarity. Less rush, more rhythm. Less stuff, more soul. That's Ikigai,
in action, not theory. So ask yourself, what can you remove today? What's taking space in your life without adding value? Because every unnecessary thing you subtract brings you closer to peace. Simplify your food. Simplify your space. Simplify your schedule. Simplify your thoughts. You'll discover something incredible. The less you hold, the more you feel alive. The less you chase, the more you notice. The less you consume, the more you create. That's not minimalism. That's wisdom. That's Ikigai. You've learned how to create space. Now it's time to fill that space with strength. You've cut the noise. Now, let's build focus.
You're living behind walls. You think independence is freedom. You think isolation is safety. It's not. Isolation is loneliness. Walls are weakness. Happiness doesn't live in solitude. It lives in connection. That's the truth Ikigai teaches. The people who live longest, happiest lives are not the strongest, not the richest, not the smartest. They are the connected. They belong. They share. They give. They laugh. They cry. That's the key. In Okinawa, they have a tradition called moai, a lifelong circle of friends who support each other. They meet regularly. They share meals, advice, and joy. They share burdens. They celebrate successes. They hold each other accountable. A man who is 90 doesn't walk alone. He walks with friends who remind him he is not forgotten. A woman who is 100 doesn't sit in silence. She laughs with her moai. Connection keeps life moving. It keeps the mind sharp. It keeps the heart soft. Loneliness kills faster than any disease. Connection heals faster than any medicine. Most people don't realize this. They hide behind screens. They hoard their time. They pretend they don't need anyone. That's a lie. Humans are social creatures. We are wired to belong, to give, to share. And when we ignore this need, the soul withers. Your health suffers. Your energy fades. Your happiness disappears. You have a choice. You can stay isolated, or you can build bonds. That's the key. But bonds aren't automatic. They require effort. They require vulnerability. They require showing up consistently. It's not enough to like someone online. It's not enough to follow and assume connection. Real bonds require presence. Real bonds require investment. Connect deeply. Care daily. Love widely. Repeat it. Connect deeply. Care daily. Love widely. Here's how the Okinawans do it. Step 1. Find your circle. This isn't casual acquaintances. This is a group of people who will hold you accountable, who will celebrate your wins, who will pick you up when you fall. Step 2. Commit. Show up consistently, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's hard. Step 3. Give without expectation. Help someone without expecting praise. Listen without judging. Share without calculating. The more you invest, the more you receive. And that's the magic. Bonds are a two-way street. Longevity isn't just physical. It's emotional. It's mental. It's spiritual. Studies show that people with strong social networks live longer, healthier lives. They recover faster from illness. They resist stress. They find purpose more easily. Connection is survival. Belonging is medicine. Friendship is power. You might be thinking, I don't have time. I'm too busy. I've been hurt before. That's excuses. You have a choice. You can let fear isolate you, or you can let courage connect you. That's the key. It's not about avoiding pain. It's about building resilience through trust. It's not about everyone liking you. It's about showing up for the people that matter. It's not about keeping score. It's about living fully. Connect deeply. Care daily. Love widely. Here's the discipline of community. Check in regularly. Be honest. Share your struggles. Celebrate others' victories. Laugh. Cry. Eat together. Learn together. Even small acts matter. A call, a message, a walk. Consistency beats intensity. Your relationships are muscles. They grow stronger with exercise. Ignore them, and they atrophy. Build them, and they become lifelines. The Moai system isn't complicated. It's intentional. It's persistent. It's loyal. You don't need 100 friends. You need a few who are real. You don't need shallow conversations. You need depth. You don't need approval. You need commitment. You don't need their permission to form a circle. You only need the courage to show up. Loneliness is a silent killer. It sneaks in when you ignore human need. It whispers that life isn't worth it. It robs your energy. It shortens your days. But connection reverses that. It restores energy. It brings joy. It gives meaning. And that's Ikigai at work. Your life's purpose is amplified when it touches others. Think about it. Every person you meet is a chance to practice Ikigai, to give support, to offer wisdom, to inspire growth. The more you invest in your Moai, the more your own life expands. You see beyond yourself. You feel stronger. You live longer. So start today. Reach out. Reconnect. Build your circle. Share your meals. Share your stories. Share your heart. Connect deeply. Care daily. Love widely. That's not optional. That's essential. That's discipline. That's longevity. You have a choice. You can continue living behind walls, or you can tear them down and build bridges. That's the difference between a long life and a fulfilled life, between days that pass unnoticed and moments that matter, between surviving and thriving. Connect deeply, care daily, love widely. You've learned the power of bonds. Now it's time to turn inward, because connection is vital, but inner clarity is the foundation.
Change is the one constant in life. No one escapes it. No one slows it down, and no one should try. Most people resist change. They cling to the familiar. They fear the unknown. They pretend that yesterday can last forever. That's the trap. That's where stagnation begins. And stagnation kills Ikigai, your reason for being. You have a choice. You can fight life, or you can flow with it. That's the key. Ikigai doesn't stay still. It grows, shifts, and evolves with you. Your purpose isn't a fixed point on a map. It's a compass that guides you through life's storms. A fisherman may age, his hands may tire, his body may no longer carry him to the sea, but his purpose, to provide, to teach, to share, remains. So he becomes a teacher. He passes his knowledge to the next generation. He keeps giving, even as his role changes. A teacher may retire, her classroom may close, her students may leave, but her purpose, to inspire, to illuminate, persists. So she becomes a storyteller. She shares wisdom in books, in conversations, in mentorship. Her life keeps moving because she keeps adapting. That's the power of embracing change. Purpose is not lost, it transforms. You adapt, you evolve, you expand. Most people resist transformation because they confuse change with loss. They fear that stepping into the unknown means abandoning what they love. It doesn't. It's not about abandoning. It's about redefining. It's about applying the same purpose in new ways. You don't need their permission to change. You don't need approval to pivot. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You have a choice: to stay frozen in fear, or to grow, evolve, and embrace the next chapter of your life. That's the key. Think about your life. How many opportunities have you missed because you clung to the old? How many doors remained closed because you were too afraid to knock? How many moments of potential joy passed while you worried about what you were leaving behind? Change is not the enemy. Fear of change is. Adapt, evolve, expand, keep learning, keep living. Repeat it. Adapt, evolve, expand, keep learning, keep living. Learning is the companion of change. Whenever life shifts, you must learn to navigate it. Skills, knowledge, mindset, all must be flexible. The moment you stop learning, you start shrinking. You may still survive, but you won't thrive. Ikigai thrives on growth. It requires curiosity. It requires courage. It requires persistence. Even small steps count. Read a book, listen to someone wiser, try a new skill, change a habit. Every effort compounds. Every lesson deepens purpose. That's how you turn uncertainty into opportunity. The world rewards those who adapt. It punishes those who resist. When technology changes, the adaptable learn it. When relationships shift, the resilient adjust. When the economy evolves, the prepared pivot. The same is true for your inner world. Your mind must adapt. Your emotions must adjust. Your goals must transform. You don't fight life. You flow with it. You bend without breaking. You embrace without surrendering your purpose. Let's be honest. Change is uncomfortable. It's scary. It challenges your habits, your ego, your identity. You may feel like a beginner again. Good. That's where growth begins. That's where mastery deepens. That's where your ikigai expands. Most people avoid discomfort. That's why they remain stagnant. They fear losing comfort. They fear losing control. They fear losing themselves. But you have a choice. You can stay frozen in comfort, or you can embrace discomfort as the teacher it is. That's the key. Look at the examples around you. People who live long, meaningful lives don't cling to the past. They adjust their sails when the wind changes. They find new paths. They pivot. They grow. Change is not punishment. Change is opportunity. Change is the natural path of life, and your purpose follows it. Adapt, evolve, expand. Keep learning. Keep living. Here's the practice you must adopt. Observe your life honestly. Where are you resisting? What changes are coming that you've been ignoring? Identify them.
name them, face them. Take small actions towards adaptation. Learn a new skill. Shift your daily habits. Ask for guidance. Change your perspective. Even tiny steps create momentum. Every effort compounds. Every lesson deepens purpose. That's how you turn uncertainty into opportunity. The world rewards those who adapt. It punishes those who resist. When technology changes, the adaptable learn it. When relationships shift, the resilient adjust. When the economy evolves, the prepared pivot. The same is true for your inner world. Your mind must adapt. Your emotions must adjust. Your goals must transform. You don't fight life. You flow with it. You bend without breaking. You embrace without surrendering your purpose. Let's be honest, change is uncomfortable. It's scary. It challenges your habits, your ego, your identity. You may feel like a beginner again. Good. That's where growth begins. That's where mastery deepens. That's where your ikigai expands. Most people avoid discomfort. That's why they remain stagnant. They fear losing comfort. They fear losing control. They fear losing themselves. But you have a choice. You can stay frozen in comfort, or you can embrace discomfort as the teacher it is. That's the key. Look at the examples around you. People who live long, meaningful lives don't cling to the past. They adjust their sails when the wind changes. They find new paths. They pivot. They grow. Change is not punishment. Change is opportunity. Change is the natural path of life, and your purpose follows it. Adapt, evolve, expand. Keep learning, keep living. Here is the practice you must adopt. Observe your life honestly. Where are you resisting? What changes are coming that you've been ignoring? Identify them, name them, face them. Take small actions towards adaptation. Learn a new skill. Shift your daily habits. Ask for guidance. Change your perspective. Even tiny steps create momentum. Every effort compounds. Every lesson deepens purpose. That's how you turn uncertainty into opportunity. The discipline of lifelong learning is the discipline of growth. That's how Ikigai expands with your life. You may feel lost at times. You may feel unsure. That's normal. It's part of evolution. But do not stop moving. Do not stop adapting. Do not stop learning. Because life will not wait. Opportunities do not linger. Purpose does not remain stagnant. Adapt, evolve, expand. Keep learning, keep living. You have a choice. You can shrink in fear, or you can stretch into possibility. That's the key. Let me remind you, purpose does not age. It transforms. It evolves. It shifts to fit the life you live. You may not be able to do what you did 5 years ago. You may not be able to be who you were. But your purpose, your ikigai, can remain stronger than ever if you embrace change. The fisherman becomes a teacher. The teacher becomes a storyteller. The retired professional becomes a mentor. The parent becomes a guide. Purpose adapts because life never stops changing. So every day, ask yourself, what can I learn today? How can I adapt? What opportunity is hidden in this change? Embrace it. Step into it. Grow from it. Adapt, evolve, expand. Keep learning. Keep living. You've learned to shift with life. Now it's time to build habits that support this growth.
Longevity is not luck. It's not genetics alone. It's not waiting for miracles. It's habits, daily rituals, consistent actions repeated over decades.
That's the truth Ikigai reveals. The people who live long, vibrant lives don't rely on chance. They rely on discipline. They rely on rhythm. They rely on rituals that reinforce purpose every single day. You have a choice. You can drift through life, or you can design it. That's the key. Let's break it down. In Okinawa, centenarians follow simple routines. They wake early. They move their bodies. They eat consciously. They connect with community. They rest mindfully. This is not complicated. It's intentional. It's disciplined. And it works. Wake early. Live purposefully. The day you wake sets the tone for the day you live. Most people wake late. They hit snooze. They scroll endlessly. They start with distraction instead of intention. Don't do that. Wake early. Breathe. Stretch. Plan your day with clarity. Even 20 minutes of focused morning practice transforms your energy. It reinforces purpose. It signals your mind, today matters. You don't need anyone's permission to own your mornings. You don't need a ritual from someone else. Design it. Commit to it. That's the discipline of longevity. Move your body. Honor your life. The Okinawans move every day, not for competition, not for vanity, for vitality, for survival, for freedom of motion. Walking, gardening, stretching, these are their rituals. Even simple movement compounds over years. They build strength. They reduce stress. They sustain health. Most people think exercise is optional. It's not. It's medicine. It's non-negotiable. Move daily. Even small steps count. Move for strength. Move for clarity. Move for life. You have a choice. Move or stagnate. That's the key. Eat mindfully. Fuel wisely. Hara hachibu. Eat until 80% full. Less than most people consume. Enough to live, not enough to store unnecessary weight or disease. Food is not entertainment. Food is not emotional comfort. Food is fuel. Food is medicine. Prioritize vegetables, whole grains, legumes, and natural foods. Minimize processed items. Avoid excess sugar and alcohol. Small daily choices compound over decades. It's not about deprivation. It's about discipline. Eat to live. Don't live to eat. You have a choice. Eat mindfully or pay the cost later. That's the key. Connect every day. Rituals aren't only physical. Longevity thrives on emotional and social habits. Reach out to a friend. Share a meal. Ask, how are you really doing? Show up consistently. Community isn't optional. It's essential. Social bonds extend life. They reduce stress. They give purpose. Connect deeply. Care daily. Love widely. Repeat it. These are rituals that protect your heart as much as your body. Practice mindfulness. Protect your mind. Stress kills silently. Worry steals years. Rushing destroys clarity. The Okinawans meditate. They breathe. They reflect. Even 5 minutes of focused awareness stabilizes the mind. Mindfulness is not indulgence. It's armor. It's the practice that allows you to make better decisions. It's the ritual that prevents chaos from taking root. You have a choice. Ignore your mind or protect it. That's the key. Consistency beats intensity. Many fail because they chase extremes. They try 90-day transformations. They work hard for a short period. Then they quit. Longevity is not a sprint. It's a marathon. Consistency beats intensity every time. Small daily habits, repeated decades, create results that shock the world. It's not about doing something spectacular. It's about doing the right thing day after day. Wake early, move, eat mindfully, connect, breathe, sleep to recover. These are not suggestions. They are commands. Daily rituals are the scaffolding for a long, meaningful life. You have a choice. Build your rituals or watch life pass you by. That's the key. You've learned the discipline of everyday practice. Now it's time to harness the ultimate driver of Ikigai, resilience in mind, body, and soul.
Most people live at extremes. They work too hard. They rest too little. They chase ambition without meaning. Or they drift in comfort without discipline. That's the trap. That's the slow burn of exhaustion, emptiness, and regret. Ikigai teaches the opposite, the middle path, the balance between effort and ease, between action and reflection, between ambition and peace. You have a choice. You can live out of balance, or you can master rhythm. That's the key. Balance is not laziness. Balance is not avoidance. Balance is strategy. It's designing your life so energy flows, purpose sustains, and the soul thrives. Look at the Okinawans. They rise early with purpose. They work mindfully in their gardens or crafts. They rest in the heat of the day. They eat, laugh, and connect. In the evening, they reflect. They pause. They honor the day. This rhythm is deliberate. It preserves energy. It amplifies focus. It cultivates joy. Most people ignore rhythm. They respond to chaos. They react to pressure. They overextend their bodies and minds. That's the cost of imbalance. You feel tired. You feel frustrated. You feel disconnected. Balance is a discipline. It requires structure. It requires awareness. It requires saying no to what drains you and yes to what sustains you. You have a choice. You can overwork or you can balance your life. That's the key. Start with the morning. Your morning sets the tone. Begin with purpose. Wake early. Stretch your body. Focus your mind. Decide, today matters. Do not scroll aimlessly. Do not rush. Do not react first. Instead, plan. Prepare. Move with intention. Even 20 to 30 minutes focused transforms your energy and clarity for the day. Balance your effort. Balance your energy. Balance your soul. Repeat it. Morning purpose is the anchor of balance. Midday rest is not weakness. Most people ignore rest. They push through fatigue. They multitask endlessly. They think rest is laziness. It's not. Rest is strategy. It restores focus. It preserves health. It prevents burnout.
Ikigai teaches short, intentional pauses, a walk in the garden, a tea break, a quiet moment to breathe. Even a few minutes of mindful reflection rejuvenates body and mind. It's not indulgence, it's not slacking, it's preparation. You have a choice: ignore rest or embrace it. That's the key. Evening reflection. The day is over. Energy fades. Tasks are complete. This is not a time to rush into distraction. Evening reflection balances effort with insight. Ask yourself, what did I do well? What drained me unnecessarily? What can I improve tomorrow? Write it down. Think it through. Close your day intentionally. Reflection preserves growth. It transforms effort into wisdom. It prevents chaos from accumulating in your mind. Balance your effort, balance your energy, balance your soul. Repeat it. Work with intention, not obsession. Ikigai is work with meaning. It's not about hours logged. It's not about showing off. It's about contribution. Do the right things. Focus on impact. Avoid unnecessary busy work. Avoid perfectionism that paralyzes. It's not about working harder. It's about working smarter. It's not about exhaustion. It's about purpose. You have a choice: obsess or focus. That's the key. Rest with awareness. Rest is not just sleep. It's detachment from stress. It's letting the mind recover. It's honoring your body and spirit. Sleep deeply. Nourish your body. Disconnect from constant stimulation. Even brief periods of mindful rest rejuvenate resilience. Balance your effort, balance your energy, balance your soul. Repeat it. Integrating meaning into every action. Balance is not just timing, it's purpose. Every effort must connect to something larger. When you work, do it with heart. When you rest, do it with awareness. When you reflect, do it with honesty. Balance is not equal hours. It's about aligned hours. Time spent on what matters most, body, mind, relationships, contribution, creates flow and fulfillment. You have a choice: scatter your energy or focus it. That's the key. Practical steps to daily balance. Morning purpose. Begin every day with clarity. Midday pause. Rest intentionally. Recharge physically and mentally. Evening reflection. Close with assessment and gratitude. Intentional work. Focus on meaningful tasks. Cut busy work. Mindful rest. Sleep, meditate, and recover consciously. Small actions, daily, consistent. They compound over months and years into resilience, longevity, and joy. Avoid extremes. Many people swing from burnout to laziness, high stress, low rest, overwork, overindulgence. This is destructive. Balance is not compromise. Balance is optimization. Balance is deliberate rhythm. It's not about sacrificing. It's about arranging life so effort, rest, and purpose reinforce each other. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters in a sustainable way. You have a choice. You can live chaotic extremes, or you can design harmony. That's the key. Mindset of balance. Balance begins in the mind. Discipline your focus. Notice energy drains. Prioritize meaning over motion. Pause before reacting. Choose presence over distraction. Your mind directs your day. Your day directs your life. Your life directs your purpose. Balance your effort, balance your energy, balance your soul. Repeat it. Closing thoughts. Ikigai is found not in excess nor in scarcity. It's in the middle path. Purpose, rest, reflection aligned in rhythm. Effort sustained, energy preserved, soul nourished. Balance is a daily choice. It's a discipline. It's a ritual. It's the architecture of a long, meaningful life. You have a choice. Exhaust yourself in chaos or thrive in rhythm. That's the key. You've learned to design your day with intention. Next, it's time to strengthen your inner engine, because balance alone isn't enough. You need resilience to sustain your purpose.
Death is inevitable. It's coming for everyone. There's no negotiation, no delay, no exception. Most people fear it. They avoid thinking about it. They distract themselves endlessly. They live as if they are immortal. That's the trap. That's where life slips by unnoticed, where purpose gets buried under routine and distraction. Ikigai teaches the opposite. You accept death, you acknowledge it, and you let that acknowledgement fuel the fire of living. You have a choice. Ignore the end or embrace it. That's the key. The Japanese concept of wabi-sabi teaches beauty in imperfection, fragility, and endings. Everything is temporary. Everything is fleeting, even life itself. And that's the point. The impermanence of life is not a curse. It's the ultimate motivation. It sharpens your focus. It clarifies your purpose. It makes every moment precious. You don't need their permission to live fully. You don't need approval to savor the day. You have a choice. Fear death or let it awaken your life. That's the key. Most people live in the illusion of tomorrow. I'll do it later. I'll say it tomorrow. I'll start next week. But death doesn't negotiate. Tomorrow is never guaranteed. Ikigai reminds us that life is measured in nows. Don't exist as if life is endless. Live as if this day is all you have. Wake up with urgency, move with intention, speak with honesty, love without restraint. Don't fear the end. Live so well that even endings smile. Understanding death transforms life. It eliminates trivial worries. It clarifies what truly matters. It exposes emptiness in things you've been chasing. It forces you to focus on meaning, not accumulation. When you accept mortality, you stop waiting for permission. You stop seeking approval. You stop deferring happiness. You have a choice. Live in fear or live in purpose. That's the key. Ikigai is not about avoiding death. It's about filling your life with enough purpose, connection, and meaning that the fear of death fades. Look at the Okinawans. They wake with reason. They craft. They connect. They move. They rest. They love. They don't pretend death won't come. They don't despair when it does. They have lived so fully that death is not an enemy. It's the final acknowledgement of a life well spent. This mindset changes everything. It teaches you to speak your truth now, forgive now, create now, care now, love now. Every delayed action is a wasted moment. Every postponed dream is a stolen day. Ikigai urges action, not hesitation. It says, don't waste your life in waiting. Don't postpone joy. Don't delay purpose. You have a choice. Procrastinate or live fully. That's the key. Wabi-sabi and imperfection. Life is imperfect. Everything decays. Nothing is eternal. This is not tragedy. This is liberation. Imperfection teaches acceptance. Mistakes teach humility. Failure teaches growth. Loss teaches gratitude. When you embrace imperfection, you embrace life. You stop clinging to control. You stop fearing endings. You start living. Live fully in your flaws. Live fully in your limits. Live fully in your moments. Don't fear the end. Live so well that even endings smile. Practical steps to live fully. Daily reflection on mortality. Spend a few minutes each morning remembering that life is finite. Let it fuel urgency. Prioritize meaning over comfort. Ask yourself, does this action matter? Does this moment count? Express love and gratitude. Don't wait to tell someone they matter. Do it now. Pursue mastery and contribution. Focus on craft, work, and relationships that outlive trivial fears. Embrace imperfection. Accept flaws, failures, and endings as part of the journey. These steps are not optional. They are the habits of those who live long, fulfilled lives. You have a choice. Ignore them or integrate them daily. That's the key. Transformation through mortality. Acknowledging death is the ultimate discipline. It sharpens your mind. It strengthens your resolve. It frees your heart. Most people try to avoid thinking about death. They fill their lives with distraction, addiction, and noise. They accumulate things instead of meaning. They measure success in hours worked or money earned. Ikigai reverses this. Success is measured in purpose lived, in connections nurtured, in joy created, in the beauty you leave behind. It's not about escaping the end. It's about creating a life so full that the end cannot terrify you. You have a choice: fear death or harness it as motivation. That's the key. Living as if you'll never die. Live boldly. Live creatively. Live passionately. Plan for the future, but act now. Invest in relationships. Invest in skills. Invest in experiences. Do not hoard time. Do not postpone joy. Do not wait for perfect conditions. You don't need anyone's permission to live fully. You don't need approval to pursue what matters. You have a choice. Live as if you'll never die, but act with the knowledge that you will. That's the key. Closing thought of Chapter 10. Death is certainty. Life is choice. Every day is an opportunity to live without regret. Every moment is a chance to deepen purpose. Every interaction is an opportunity to love and contribute. Do not fear endings. Do not chase illusions of permanence. Do not postpone meaning. Balance your work, rest, and reflection. Embrace imperfection. Pursue growth. Nourish connections. Accept mortality. Don't fear the end. Live so well that even endings smile. You've learned the essence of Ikigai. You've learned to wake with purpose. You've learned to focus your heart. You've learned to adapt. You've built rituals, balance life, and embrace mortality. Now it's your turn. You have a choice. Drift through life unnoticed, or take control. Fill every day with meaning, discipline, and connection. Live as if you'll never die, but know you will. That's the challenge. That's the call. That's the path to a long, fulfilled, unstoppable life.
Your Ikigai isn't far from you. It's within you. It calls to you every morning. Every day, it gives you a small reason to live, to grow, to give. Life isn't beautiful because it's long. Life is beautiful because it has purpose. Find your ikigai. Live your purpose. Fill your life not with routine, but with passion. And when the world is running in every direction, you become the one who stops, breathes, and smiles. Because true happiness arrives only when you finally understand the meaning of your existence. So ask yourself right now, why do you wake up every morning? Don't wait, don't wish, don't wonder.